Oprah Winfrey once said, "A mentor allows you to see the hope in yourself." Welcome to ZEAL'S TV Experience, where we'll talk about topical issues affecting our society and the world at large. And today on ZEAL'S TV Experience, we'll be considering a very important topic known as mentorship and followership. We go on a short break. When we're back, I'll reveal to you my guest for today. You're welcome to ZEAL'S TV Experience, where we talk about topical issues affecting our society and the world at large. Joining me today on ZEAL'S TV Experience is a special guest of honor in person of Pastor ID James. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's move straight to the topic of discussion: mentorship and followership. Let me start by asking, what is mentorship?
Well, let me quickly start by saying that I have this coinage that I grew up with.
Okay.
That if you don't have a mentor, you surely have a tormentor. Some of us are where we are because we never really had mentors when we were growing up.
Okay.
And so mentoring is being fashioned, being molded, and then chasing after a model.
Okay.
You want to be whatever you want to become in life. It is the responsibility of a mentor to make you realize that dream.
Yeah.
And so mentoring or mentorship is about grooming someone to becoming whatever the person wants to become in life.
Okay.
We have positive, we have negative mentors.
Okay.
So it is always very good to have a mentor.
Okay. All right. What would you say are the importance of mentors to their mentee?
Well, number one is that there is succession plan in mentorship. There is transition in mentorship.
Okay.
Transition in the sense that there is no gap. A successful man. Okay, we keep we like rhymes a lot. That success is useless without a successor.
Okay.
That's where mentorship comes in. And so when you mentor people, for instance, if I want to get into leadership, Nigeria lacks serious mentorship in leadership. That's why you will see people who led us in the 70s are still leading us in the 21st century.
Yeah.
So 40 years after, the same people who were leading are still leading us. That's because there is very poor level of mentorship, political mentorship, leadership, and even business mentorship. Now, I'll give you an instance. If you go to the Igbo-speaking part of Nigeria, you see very systematic mentorship, where a father whose child is in school, once the child comes back from school, he goes to the shop, understudies the father, such that when the father dies, the business continues.
Yeah.
Apart from that, you also see people who are business conscious. A child will go and stay with a man for 7 years without being paid. But after 7 years, he's settled.
Yeah.
That's mentorship. And that's why you see, I want to align with the school of thought that any place you go in this world and you don't see an Igbo man, leave that place, you may not succeed. Why? Because there is something about them.
Yeah, continuity,
and then the knack for success. It is proper mentorship or mentoring that will give you the zeal to succeed. And so that's how it is. Mentorship is very, very important. There are advantages are too numerous to mention.
All right, let me quickly ask, what's the difference between mentorship and being a teacher and being a coach?
Okay. A teacher is a partial mentor.
Okay.
Take, for instance, you teach me mathematics, so I will eventually become very good in mathematics.
Over time.
That's a teacher. But a mentor teaches us about goals, values, success. So you can be my teacher. Of course, okay. If I ask how many teachers are very, very successful, they retire. Whereas a mentor is an all-round coach.
Okay.
Life coach, not necessarily a professional coach, but a life coach that makes you fit into the society, and not just fit into the society, it makes you realize who you are, and then you come out and live your life to the fullest. So that's the difference. A teacher is concentrated, while a coach is an all-rounder.
Okay. All right. Permit me to also ask: is it a must? Like, is it compulsory for one to have a mentor? Yeah.
Without a mentor, you surely will have a tormentor. What do I mean by tormentor? Tormentor is life failures. Life failures. That you have a mentor does not mean you will not fail, but a mentor will make you see failure as a catalyst to success. Whereas without a mentor, you end up failing flat. So it is mandatory. It is, in fact, it is a matter of urgent life importance that you have a mentor. Surely, if you don't have one, you will definitely meet a tormentor.
Now, how do one pick a mentor?
Yeah, goals, choices. When I was growing up, I loved broadcasting.
Okay.
And so to be a good broadcaster, I needed to get a certain Michael Bush.
Okay.
Who became my mentor, and up until today, he is still. You may look at us. There's no great age difference, but he has been able to mentor me.
Okay.
He has been able to teach me. He has been able to. He's my life coach. He's really been. But when it comes to other areas, that's another problem people have. You don't necessarily have to have one mentor.
Okay.
Because there are so many stress of life.
Yeah.
So you pick people who are successful in those areas and begin to build your life around them. And so as a pastor, I have a mentor who is doing exactly what he's supposed to do, modeling my life in that area. As a businessman, I have my own mentor.
Okay.
As a broadcaster, I've told you I have one.
Yeah.
So when you now see what the role these people play in my life, you see the real me.
Okay.
That's how. So mentoring, it's mandatory to have mentors, and it's also very good for your success.
Okay. All right. What's the relationship like between you and your mentor?
Okay. A lot of people have abused relationship between that you have a mentor does not make you a beggar.
Okay.
That someone is your life coach does not mean that you should go begging every time you lack. So because what he's supposed to do is to help you grow, become independent. So
on your own.
But by the time you now have a mentor and you now feel that your life depends on him, it's wrong. Number two, every mentee ought to surpass the mentor.
Okay.
So if you have a millionaire mentor, you should be a billionaire. And so that means you should begin to see the independence aspect of your life, such that a mentee should grow to a point that when your mentor retires, you now see him as your project, taking care of him. So that's how it should be.
Now you talked about taking care of him. Does it mean that they're supposed to be in the same geographical area?
No. Take for instance, just as I said, I'm a pastor.
Okay.
And I was in a ministry for almost 20 years. Where I am now, we are not in the same geographical area. But once in a while, I call the man and ask him how he's faring.
Okay.
And I ask him to send me his account number.
Wow.
Not that he has need, but I'm trying to let him know that that product you produced is doing well.
Okay.
So sometimes you don't give to your mentor because he lacks, but you're making him know that he should be proud of you wherever you are. So whether you are in the same location, I'm sure you know that you can even have a mentor without him knowing.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
So obviously, it's not every mentor that you have a personal relationship
with. Yeah.
Beautiful. So you could be looking up for what he's doing, just to support him without necessarily making him know that he has made impact in your life. That's it.
Okay, then also permits me to ask, is it a lifelong...
You have the permission, so don't ask for it again.
Mentorship, is it a lifelong journey that till the person dies, he remains your mentor or she remains your mentor?
Well, a mentor is a mentor. I've told you, Michael Bush is my mentor in broadcasting. Sometimes we stay for 1 year without talking. But that does not take the fact, that does not in any way negate the fact that he's my mentor. So it's a life thing. Now, you may lose touch, but the values
still remains.
The drive
still there.
Is, you know, they said train up a child the way he should go, so that when he goes, he will not depart from it.
Yeah.
So your mentor, a mentor that you meet for 5 years, can leave a 50-year impression in your life, so that those values you had during those 5 years become your life principles, become your success drive. So once you have a mentor, whether there is no more link between you and them, he's still your mentor.
Okay. All right. At what age, at what year do you think a mentee is supposed to detach from his or her mentor and then stand alone to, okay, I have gotten to this stage, I can do this on my own, I can go...
But there's a difference between mentoring and coaching.
Okay.
Life coach might be someone who's bringing you up to maturity. But a mentor, some mentors meet people at the point of their maturity.
Okay.
Such that from day one, you may not necessarily, you may not necessarily have a dependence relationship with your mentor.
Okay.
So you could still be an independent person, but what the mentor does is to show you the values, the discipline involved, the rudiments. So when you talk about detachment, from day one you are not attached, but you are being mentored under someone.
Okay. Now, how do people know they've picked a wrong mentor for themselves?
Wow, that's a difficult one. Number one, you cannot just pick a mentor because you like him, or because you are emotionally attached. You pick a mentor because he has achieved something. What you are looking for is in him. So sometimes I can pick a mentor that I don't even like his face, but he has what I want. And so I'm not coming to do relationship. I'm coming to be tutored, to be trained, or I'm coming to observe the things you are doing to be who you are. So the issue of choice of mentor has to be purely goal oriented. There must be a target. What do I want? And then when you know what you want, even if the person that can give you that stuff is the devil himself, you have to submit yourself to what makes him or her who is. So that is it.
Okay. All right, let's talk about your career. You've been pastoring for some years now. How did it begin?
Already?
Yeah.
I can't remember because I was a member of the church until I became a pastor. So it's been there. Yeah, I think I can remember about 1996 or thereabouts. After leaving my home church for about 2 years, I had no fulfillment, I had no passion. So I stayed away from anything church for almost 2 years. But I think about 1996.
Started full time?
No, I joined a church No, I don't want to say how I became a member of the church, but I saw myself in a church. And then in the process, I became a member.
Okay.
And I grew up. And then I was consistent. I was I can say I was well mentored because I desired to be mentored. And about 2007, February 12th, I was again the pastor.
Okay.
You can imagine, between 1996
2012.
So I have been serving, and I was found worthy. I don't know what else, but I know that I was found worthy in learning, and I was made a pastor.
Okay.
And I still was there till about 2017, 2018, when we also decided to veer off to talk about Christ our own way. So that's how it's been. 3 years as an independent pastor. But again, even at that, I still have people I'm listening to like crazy.
Okay. All right. There's this notion that's actually in some person's mind that they don't want to pick up a young person and try to be like a role model in terms of mentoring the person, see that this person is on the right track. Because they're actually scared of, this person might probably finish up at the end of the day and want to come and measure up with me in the nearest future. So let me let this person be. What's really
Are you talking about in terms of church?
In terms of mentorship.
Okay, mentorship. Well,
yeah.
I think the greatest level of selfishness is when you begin to see the next person as a threat.
Okay.
It's worse than witchcraft. When you see someone as a threat. Paul says, now let me take the scripture. It says, what I have received, I have given to you. Now, he said, commit it to other people. When I see people behave as if they know Jesus more than others, it's an error. It's a sin. The more you know Christ, the more you should also open up to people. That's talking about Christianity now. Okay. That's the same thing in business. If I know any secret that can propel me to success in business, I don't have. Okay, let's talk about this network marketing. You know, that is the greatest way to build wealth. I bring you in. There is no competition. Okay. There is no competition. The more you harvest, and you get to a point that you should know that there is nobody you make in this life that will be greater than you, no matter, even if he's richer than you, he can never be greater than you because you made him. That is how you see people who go into network marketing, their downlines become greater, become richer, become the order, but they still recognize them as their upline.
Yeah, sure.
Because they brought you into it.
Okay.
The more we see mentoring more like a multi-level marketing, more like a multi-level networking.
Okay.
They're better for us. Okay. They're better for society. So anybody who sees, I train pastors.
Wow.
And I tell them, listen, you don't even need to tell me you want to leave. Whenever you want to. Christ is not, I'm not Christ. He calls us to preach. So if you wake up one morning and you feel you don't even need to hear God call you, that is a very wrong notion. Every believer has been called. Every believer has been called. Matthew chapter 28, it says, go ye into the world and preach the gospel. So if you wake up one morning and your body language tells you
you want to leave,
I can never say that you will not succeed. How? Is it my business? The one who calls empowers. Yeah. The same way he empowered me, he has empowered you. The same way he has empowered everybody. And so I won't even, when you go, start. If you want me to come, invite me, I'll come. What? It's not my business. It's the business of Jesus. That's the same thing with business. Any secret you know, when you die with it, what will happen? What will happen? So, whatever I know, anybody that is willing to learn, I let it out. I let go. Get to a point. Maurice Cerullo says, is it Maurice Cerullo? No, not Maurice Cerullo. What's his name now? This man that died by Miles Monroe.
Okay.
He says he wants to die empty. And do you know that at 60, Miles Monroe had already started telling people that he has finished everything he has.
Wow.
And he died about 2 years after. He said he will be so light that there shall be no potential found
in him.
That he has emptied everything in him. That's selflessness. And up until tomorrow, we might never have another Miles Monroe.
Yeah.
That is how life is. When you add value
to someone,
you are not losing value. There is no way you add value and lose value in the process of adding value. It's not possible. When you have this kind of mindset, everywhere you go to, you add value.
Yeah, sure.
And you bring value. You must bring something to the table. That is how it is.
All right, sir. Your final word of advice to viewers out there who's been listening to you.
Okay, I would like to say that in this life, you can never become anything until you have a mentor. It's both spiritual and also physical. When Jesus came to this world, he mentored disciples and released them at the end. Look at the exploits. And he told them, go even up to the uttermost part of the earth. And today, those he mentored have mentored people that have mentored people that have mentored people that today we now see people who preach the gospel. Even those who don't preach it well, but at least you will see. So if you want to go far in life, get a mentor. Don't be sentimental when choosing a mentor. Make sure you choose someone that will mentor you to a point that you will become a mentor. And then finally, I want to say, if you have been mentored and you are not mentoring, you are worse than a witch.
Alright, Pastor, you're worse than a witch. Is that? I think I'm going home with that. I should be able to mentor someone in my area of interest.
Once you have become, you must make others to become. Jesus said, follow me, I will make you. So there's no way you should. And then the same people he made also make people. That is how life is. Until we mentor and make others, we have not been meant.
Okay, alright. Alright, you've heard from the horse's mouth. Until you mentor and make somebody, you've not been made. That's been the size of our today's program on ZEAL'S TV Experience. We return next week bigger, better, and stronger. I remain your TV goddess, to the Z, to the E, to the A, and to the L. You can always call me Zee, remember? Bye-bye.